مرحبا، أنا اسمي لورا وهذه قناتي على يوتيوب لغات مع لورا. Hello everyone, my name is Laura and this is my channel Languages with Laura, and today we are going to talk about the power of music when it comes to language learning. So one of the amazing tools there are out there for learning a language, in my opinion, is music. A lot of people love to listen to music in general, and so I don't see why we shouldn't use it to help us learn language too. There are many different aspects that go into music, and this encompasses all genres of music. I tend to listen to a lot of international pop, some more popular or folk music in different languages, but you are not limited to pop or popular music. There are lots of different genres out there that you can find them. Some of the best ways to find music in your target language is going on to radio stations in that country. If you just go online and search like radio stations in France or whatever, stations will come up and you can start listening to those radio stations, and then you can explore music through that way, or you can look up top 50 songs of X country, whatever. So like there are different ways that you can stumble upon music if it's not already a part of your daily life in terms of international music in your target language. So there are different ways that you can find it, but music can be so incredibly helpful for language learning if you love listening to music. So there are two ways you can use music to help with your language learning, and this isn't just true for music, this is true for a lot of like entertainment type things, media, and that can be with passive learning or active learning. So music is great for both of these categories. It's great for passive learning, and that's when you're not really putting a lot of energy or effort into it, you are just kind of experiencing it. So just listening to music, listening to the words, listening to the rhythm, maybe even singing along. You can still think about like maybe the translation, what it's saying, things like that, but for the most part, passive listening is just enjoying it, which is actually very valuable still because it gets your brain thinking about the language. It is still exercising. You are still listening to it, practicing your hearing. If you're singing along, you're practicing your accent, your pronunciation, your speaking, all those kinds of things. And so passive listening with music alone is great. But there are also many ways that you can use music for your active learning. This is when you are sitting down and trying to learn something new, trying to move forward with your language learning. I'm going to change the lighting here. This is driving me nuts. Slightly better? Yeah, kind of. A lot of the things that active listening can help with are things that are not just listening to. I would recommend, if you're going to use music as a tool for language learning, choosing a couple of songs and actually looking up the lyrics to them. Because if you hear a phrase that you don't quite understand, like a lot of Spanish rap music is just so fast and it's really hard for me to understand. So it's really helpful for me to go through, see what the words are, and then once I know what they are, I can pick them out, and then I can get more and more used to listening to fast Spanish, and it will be easier and easier to do in the future. Obviously, music can help a lot with vocab. You can find new words. You can find new words pretty much everywhere, but that is true for music as well, so just want to put that out there. You can find new words, or you can find meanings of words, or even phrases that are kind of like idioms, but not quite. They are common in the language, but not necessarily directly translated, literally translated from one to another. A lot of slang, especially, like kind of in the same vein as what I said with idioms, but like slang is so common in music, and it can be a lot more common than what you'll find in like news articles if you like to read those, or if you're watching videos. Like sometimes certain elements use slang and certain elements don't, and music does use slang, which is really fun, and it's a great way because you're learning it through its usage, which will help you remember it more. Because someone just saying a slang phrase at you, you're not always going to remember it, or you have to study it really hard. But if you have it in context, if you know like this is a breakup song, or this is a love song, or this is like a friendship song, or this is like a let's just have fun song. You kind of have that context already to figure out the slang, figure out how it's being used or why it's being used, and then how you can use it going forward. Another fun thing with music is you get a lot of the artist's sounds and accents. You can explore different accents this way, whether you are choosing which one you want to do or you just want to be comfortable being able to hear all of them. Music is a great low pressure way to listen to different accents, different countries, different word usage, etc. and so forth. But as I said before, it's really great to look up the lyrics and analyze them, either try and do a translation or sing along or treat it like karaoke even. And you can listen to yourself and think how you versus the original artist pronounce things. Like not in a how is your singing voice? I don't care about that. But how is your pronunciation singing versus speaking? Because you know, they help each other out, they correlate, but sometimes it's almost easier to sing depending on the type of song and how comfortable you are. So it's always worth giving that a try, but it is also just really fun to translate songs and have that be a lesson or a portion of the lesson. And it's something like some music you can really deeply analyze, and some of it is a little bit lighter. When I was in school learning language, our teachers always had us start off with children's songs. So I know a lot of like French children's songs, I know some German children's songs, even though I'm learning German completely on my own. And then I will eventually graduate into learning less or listening to not as much children's songs, but more like actual popular music. However, I do think listening to popular music is valuable at any point in the education, but sometimes for complete beginners, it can be really helpful to hear the sounds and hear words, pick out phrases, things like that, if it's an easier to understand song like a children's song would be. Like, I can literally just Bäcke, Bäcke, Kuchen, der Edgar, Adger, Ufen, Erben, Hugen, Sieben Sachen. Anyway. And, you know, if songs get stuck in your head, then there you go. You've got words stuck in your head. So hopefully you know what they mean at that point, and you don't even have to study them because they just live there now, whether you like it or not. Another thing that you can kind of pick up on with music-based learning, or at least a music-based activity, is a lot of pacing and emphasis, seeing what part of the word is drawn out, where is the accent, where is the emphasis, like how is the tone. It always fascinates me to listen to Mandarin songs because I am still trying to understand how you can do the tones while singing. Like, in my mind, it makes sense. Like, I can visually understand it in my mind how you can sing in a tonal language, but I feel like whenever I try to do it, it's just an absolute train wreck. But I have found this to be extremely helpful in learning new sounds, especially with like Arabic, becoming more comfortable with sounds that I had a hard time pronouncing before, or German, my newest language. I am learning it very slowly, but I have a German playlist already, and honestly, it's probably one of the best things for me right now. And then the final aspect of listening to music that can really help with your language learning is the cultural aspects. A lot of music, both modern and a little older, are valuable with this. It helps you understand where the culture comes from, what kind of things are prominent in the culture, whether it be the message, if there's a lot of political music, or the instruments used, like if what kind of drums, if there are drums, and how those are used. There are so many little elements of music that you can just sit down, analyze, and pick out, and it will help you understand the culture better. And understanding the culture helps you understand the language better, in my opinion, because culture and language are so tightly intertwined. It's really hard to learn one without the other. Not impossible, but I think if you're learning language, you're going to learn at least a little bit of culture. But if you put some time aside to learn more with culture, it will help with your language learning throughout the entire process. And music is a great way to do that. All in all, music is a great resource and a great tool that you can personalize to help you with passive or active learning. So whether you are listening to music while you clean your house, or you drive to work or school, or even before you go to bed, or when you wake up and get ready in the morning, maybe sub out some of your music for music in your target language. Either have your own individual playlist with those songs or integrate a few of those songs into your current playlist and kind of go back and forth a little bit. Whatever it is that works for you, it's the power of language. It's the power of music. Really what it comes down to is you get out of it what you put into it. If you put more energy into listening to the words, singing along, and actually trying to understand the phrases, even if there are words you don't know, you can still understand phrases or verses or the chorus or the general gist of the song. So depending on how much energy you put into it is going to help with how output of it for you as well. Thank you very much for watching. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you're interested in some of the music I listen to, or if you have an artist or a song that you recommend, feel free to comment it down below. I do have music that I listen to in all the languages that I've learned, as well as languages I don't actually study. I have a master playlist called Anything But English, where literally any song that I hear that is not in English that I like goes on this playlist. And then I have individual playlists for like Spanish, French, Russian, Arabic, German, etc. and so forth. So you can do whatever you want with it. Listen to radio stations, go on Spotify, go on YouTube. Music is everywhere. You just have to listen to it and then just put a little bit of energy in, and who knows what might come out. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe if you like language learning content. I will try and post videos on Mondays. That is my goal. So yes. Shukran wa ma salama.